Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns. If you haven't been on my channel before, I'm all about business, motivation, and confidence. So today we are going to be answering some of your questions pertaining to the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And these are some questions that was posted on my last video. So hopefully I will be able to answer them for you. If not, I'll try to look it up for you and we could just go from there. The only reason why it took me so long, I was trying to link my Facebook page into the YouTube page, but it didn't happen for me. But so we'll just go over my last two videos posted. One was about the economic injury disaster loan. Where do you stand now that they have no more grant money, or it all is already what is it called? It's already up. It's already they already dished it out. Actually, so they've already allocated these funds and they're no longer accepting no more grant application, but you are able to still apply for the disaster loan. So we're going to go over some of those questions and see if I can answer them for you. If you have a question online, I could see them online, so you could just shout out where you're from and shoot me a question, and maybe I will be able to answer those questions for you. Okay, so we have Stanley Flower. Stanley Flower, she said they need to put an attachment screen to take a picture of your February bank statements because not all phones are able to upload. Please do this ASAP. Stanley Flower or Fowler. I am not able, this is from the PPP video. I'm not able to do that. I don't control Bluevine. So I'm assuming that they were applying for the Bluevine PPP application. Okay. So hello, I applied Sunday on the 12th. I'll get to your question in just a second, Alexander. I applied Sunday on the 12th and got an email saying I was approved for the loan. Does it mean I was approved for the grant as well? Yes, but I noticed that they are approving people for the loans and you have to call to make sure that you're getting the grant. They're still supposed to give you the grant regardless. And what they're doing is they're subtracting the grant amount from the loan amount. So if you got a $10,000 grant or a $10,000 loan and your grant amount was $3,000, your loan amount will be $7,000. Okay. Let's see. We had a question on Alexander. What if they're saying multiple apps when you only put one app? So Alexander, I'm not for sure. If they have multiple apps, they need to tell you what application number. I mean, if you apply twice, you should have two applications. So you need to call a two-tier representative to make sure nobody's using your name. That could be a fraudulent activity. Okay. So if you only apply once, you should have one application number. And when you call the SBA, that application number should go with the business or self-employment that you applied for. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question. What about reconsideration? This is from Brian Davidson. What about reconsiderations? I've been reconsidered for about 2 months. Me too, Brian. They've just been slow with reconsideration. I'm not for sure what's going on. Tier 2 said, I'm still being processed. And that's what they're telling me. So they're just been going slow with their tier 2 or the reconsideration process. I mean, I would suggest, Brian, to call your state representative that's in your area. So your state rep is really zoned by by where you're at. So whatever district you're in. So look that up, and Google it, state rep in your area. And they will get back to you, because I have my state rep. They will get back to you, and they could act as a person in between from you and the SBA, and kind of white glove your application. Brian, how long you been waiting? I think you said 2 months, right? And so that's pretty long. I applied for my reconsideration in June the 10th, and I still haven't heard anything back for them. I called my local SBA. They haven't contacted me. I called my local SBA like 2 or 3 times. I called my state rep, emailed my state rep, emailed my senator, and the only person that got back with me was my state rep and one of his representatives. So, and I had to fill out like a disclosure form or release form saying they could call the SBA and inquire about my application. So I had to put my social security number, my application number, and the reasons why I wanted them to contact the SBA for me. And you know what? Election is coming up. They are more than happy to do work for their constituents. And they have a certain group or staff that handles SBA concerns since we're going through this pandemic. I'm sorry. Carla Jenkins, should you apply for the PPP if your EIDL is held up? Yeah, you should, Carla. When they had the Senate hearing back in June, Senator Cardin, when they wrote the bill, they said the PPP and EIDL was supposed to work together. So the PPP is for like fast cash, I need it right now, and the economic injury disaster loan is supposed to like put you back in business, basically. PPP, stay in business, and economic injury disaster loan is, you know, to actually give you a push so you can have working capital. So totally apply for the PPP. Robinson Wealth Builder. I do have a video that's dropping about credit on the SBA for the economic injury disaster loan. And I am basically going over the standard operating procedures. So Robert Health Builder, Wealth Builder, I'm sorry, Robinson Wealth Builder, I can't read today. Was the date on the denial letter due to the credit, but received the denial letter email 6:30. Still no grant money. I just got off the phone with SBA and they said it was in process. How I was denied. I'm not for sure how, if they denied you, you know, but you still should have received the grant. Okay. HQ Vapes. I tried to call the SBA, but they were busy. Yeah, they do get pretty busy, you know. If you call early in the morning, you have more chances of getting in without being the 1,000th person in the queue if you call during the day. So call earlier in the morning. But the SBA, they're open to everyone till 8 o'clock at night, and they're open on Saturdays, so you can call somebody on Saturdays. I notice when you call on Saturdays, it seems like they know more information. I don't know, the people on Saturday might be the real professionals. The people during the week is like, oh, we're gonna put bodies just to answer the phone. I'm not for sure. Maybe I'm just being facetious, but that's what it seemed like. They know more information on Saturdays. Yarnell Williams. So if I'm looking down and up, I'm filming on my phone, but I'm looking at my computer screen to read these questions. So Yarnell Williams, hello, I was approved for the PPP, and once I completed my 941, I immediately got denied. That can happen because what they will look at to see if you have enough monies in that quarter or for the year. So if you were denied and you did have a salary, you might want to reapply. Okay? Gloria Orocho. I just talked to the SBA and they called me for the loan. From my understanding, they told me even if I applied on March the 13th, the Congress had closed out the grant advance and it's totally closed, and even the people, no, Gloria is saying that she called the SBA and she applied in March and they told her she would not receive the grant. That's incorrect. See, that's what I'm saying. When you call the SBA, you will get different answers. So, I mean, it all depends of who you get. Someone that really knows about the SBA and their procedures and know what's going on. And so you'll get some Joe Schmo answering the phone that just walked off the street that totally doesn't know about their procedures and stuff. I really want you guys to look at this video tomorrow when I drop it. It's all about your credit with the SBA. They have a standard operating procedure dealing with denials for the SBA. SBA in their operating procedure, they cannot deny you without giving you a chance of explaining those reasons why they denied you. So even on credit, even on bankruptcy, they have something written in their standard operating procedures for everything, even with child support. I mean, foreclosures, all that kind of stuff that you think you would get flat out denied. No, they have some type of reason, or they can't just flat out deny you. Okay, so that video is dropping tomorrow, and I really want you guys, if you're getting denied for child support, foreclosures, unsatisfactory credit history, no credit history, this video will address all those issues. Okay, so I want you guys to address the issues, answer the questions before you apply, and then so it will increase your chances of actually getting a loan. A good story to hear. My other business, if you've been following me, I applied for the PPP and the SBA EIDL program last week for one of my other business, and I was approved for the loan. And I told you my business, they denied me for the loan. So it's, they approved me for this one and they denied me for my business that is my breadwinner, and they denied me for it. So I'm not for sure. There's no really rhyme to reason. And that's the one I'm in reconsideration. But my smaller business, they approved that with no problems. I got the loan portal actually yesterday. I didn't look at my email yesterday, so I saw it in my email today. But anyway, so let's see who's on here. Jordan Moore. Hi, I applied and got approved yesterday for my SBA loan. How long does it take to hit your bank account? Well, so Jordan, this is one thing I noticed. You want to make sure, even though you put your bank account information in there, you want to make sure it's the correct banking account. Now, if you're self-employed, it should have your name on there. But if you are a business, make sure your bank account matches your business name, because they will automatically default whatever LLC, S Corp, C Corp, sole proprietorship, whatever that name is, they'll put that on your default bank account. And if you put your personal bank account information in there, your bank will reject it. And so make sure, and usually I'm not for sure about the amount of the loan that you're getting, but if you have to sign like promissory notes or something like that, usually it takes about 7 working days. But if you don't have to do all that stuff, if you're under that $25,000 amount, usually it takes about 2 to 3 days. And I've been hearing that even with the larger amount loans, it's been taking 2 to 3 days. But you want to make sure, go in there on the portal and make sure that that information, your banking information, is correct, that it matches with your business name and it matches with your account name. Okay? Daniela Lopez, love your video. I love you too, honey. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so let's see if we could get some more of these questions. Nassar said you want to hide your banking information, and they put smiley face. They must then listen to the video. It was Paycheck Annie. Paycheck Annie. That's all fictitious banking information, okay? So if you watch that video, $1,000 in 3 days, I was specifically talking about the grant for the EIDL program. And I put in fictitious names. I use fictitious banking information, social security number, and all that stuff. I just wanted to give you an example of how to walk through that application. Someone is saying, Epic Infants, they denied my loan based off the EIDL funds. They said that I received but didn't. I know people who don't even have a business and got the money within 48 hours. Each time I called them, they said the same thing. Then I received the email saying the EIDL loan is no longer available. I watched your video and I'm going to apply for reconsideration. Epic Infants, please apply for reconsideration, because I don't think that's right, especially if you have a business. If you're self-employed, a gig worker, I even think gig workers, LLC, sole proprietorship, you are eligible for the PPP or the EIDL program. And if you already applied, you should be receiving the grant. Okay? If you applied before July the 11th, you should be receiving a grant. Epic Infants, if you are wanting a copy, she's asking for a copy of my reconsideration letter and the spreadsheet where I prove my 12-month P&L. That letter is linked in the documents section. And actually, when I post this video, I will link that letter in the description section of this video, okay? Thanks for the information, Christopher Burns. You're welcome. Dwayne Mayweather, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, Dwayne. Erica, Monday I updated my banking information. My advance was sent June 19th, but I used the wrong account. I had to, I don't know why this is doing this. I had to update my bank account to my business account. How long does this take? It should be like an overnight thing, I think, a couple of days. I don't think it should take that long for them to update their system. Let's see. Brian, good evening. Are grants still being deposited this week? I'm April 1st applicant, did receive the portal update. To update my personal information on June the 24th. Yeah, Brian, you should have been had your money. Huh? I don't understand why they're taking so long to get you your money. Brian, did you receive a denial letter? Yeah, put it in the comment section if you received a denial letter. Daniela just responded that she's still waiting for her EIDL loan or her loan to be processed. Wendy K Ministry, she just put or responded, a friend of hers just got the grant. Okay, Brian B. You still should have received the grant. I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth. So Brian B, please apply for reconsideration, but you still need to call the tier 2 representative. What was the reason for your denial? If it's not saying, oh, you're not a legitimate business, or they couldn't validate the information. If that's not the reason, you should have received the grant. Wendy, your friend applied before June the 11th or July the 11th. That's why she's still, okay, Brian. That's why she received the grant. June the 11th, yeah, I doubt it. June the 11th or July the 11th was the cutoff date. They even took that information off the system. If you go in there, there is no box saying consider me for the advance. They took that off as of Saturday. You're not able. So if you didn't apply before then, it's impossible for them to give her the grant unless she applied before. Okay. And we discussed that a while. So maybe she applied a long time ago or whatever and reapplied again. The grant in the loan. No, they should be. So Roxy Rose is asking in the grant in the loan. She asking is it together? They should separate it, but they have not been doing that. And it's written in the bill. Your grant you should receive the grant in 2 to 3 days. And they have not been doing that. They're making their own rules up with the SBA. My advance was sent back. Will they send it back to my business account? Yeah, you need to call the SBA. This is Erica Dodd Willis. Call the SBA. Hopefully you corrected the information. I don't know why they sent it back. Sometimes they'll send it back because the names doesn't match up. So you either make sure you call your bank and make sure your bank didn't reject it, and SBA, and get it straightened out with your bank. Stay Shining Q. How old are you, Mrs. Burns? I know. Okay. I have a video. If you go to my landing page, you could find out. Just watch that video. Brian B. sent the reconsideration on June the 21st, and I received the email from the actual SBA saying the grant was processing. Sorry for the delay, and it will be deposited expeditiously. Yeah, but 24th, that's way too long, Brian. You should have still received it. It only take them a couple of days to do it. Yeah, Roxy Rose, if your bank account is not your business account, you got to change that. Alexandra Robinson, the only reason why your bank will reject it if the names doesn't match on their account. That's the only reason. Dwayne Mayweather, I applied for before July the 11th for the advance, but I made mistake with using my same business account then they reconsidered, then I put different bank accounts. If you could, Dwayne Mayweather, you could still change that. If you got the portal, well, if you're in reconsideration, you could always change that. I mean, they're not going to just, if they approve you for the loan, you got to accept the loan. The grant, hey, you gotta look to see if they sent you the grant, because they don't give you no indication. You'll just it'll magically appear in your banking account. So it's like they just go willy-nilly. It's no rhyme to reason with the SBA. let's go back to these questions from my last video. I'm an independent contractor, but I did not receive the loan, and it's been more than 10 days. Can you check your application status? You will have to call. This is Kenny Sy. Kenny Sy, check your application. You need to call the SBA. SBA number is, let me pull it. SBA number is 1-800-659-2955. 1-800-659-2955. You got to forgive me. My son is coming in the room. Chase, go upstairs, please. And close the door. Thank you. Let's see. When is the deadline to pay old taxes? I'm getting different dates. The deadline is today. They didn't extend it. They extended to July the 15th. So you need to file an extension if you can't get it. File it today. Elizabeth Jones, I applied June 18th, got denied due to credit, but let them tell it the grant is processing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they didn't give you the grant already. They denied you. Have you ever heard of a site called Skip? You could check your, yes. Skip.gov is a very good site. I go on there and you could check your EIDL loan process. And it's self-reporting, but it's pretty accurate. When I initially did for my business, I went to skip.gov, skip.gov. No, is it skip.gov? I don't know, somebody correct me, but they're really accurate on that. Daniela, I submitted my application back in April and still living with SB back and forth. My loan is with the processor and been there for the past month. Daniela, please contact your state representative and your local SBA. They could move the process much faster. Type in Google state representative whatever district or county you live in, and contact them via email. Sometimes you could get somebody over the phone, but put a paper trail. Contact them by email and then call them and stalk them. Only reason why I got somebody to call me back from my local rep, because I was calling them every morning until somebody called me back, and finally they called me back yesterday. I updated my banking information yesterday. When will I receive it? I don't know. You might want to call the SBA, but it should be 2 to 3 days. But it hasn't been. It's no rhyme to reason. It should be 2 to 3 days. The loan should take 21 days, to process your application. But it's really no rhyme to reason. I wish I had a hard set answer, but it's like Gone with the Wind with them. Wherever the wind blows, that's where the SBA goes, I guess. I'm not for sure. Let me know what type of videos you guys want to hear. I'm looking at these questions right now. Jessica Smith asks, if someone received the EIDL, can they get their amount increased? More likely you will be able to. There's a lot of people that's out there that got the loan and now they're stretching it out this pandemic and they need more funding. I would go back to your SBA and talk to a tier 2 rep to see if you could get additional monies. Does anyone know out there, if you receive the PPP, can you reapply for the PPP since Somebody put that in the comment section. I'm not for sure. They wasn't really clear about that. If you apply for the PPP and receive the PPP, can you receive additional fundings? Probably so, because they're extending this whole pandemic thing out. Okay. Dwayne said, thank you for very much. I really appreciate it. Great job. Well, I appreciate you, Dwayne. Stay shining Q. Let borrow 20 until my Trump check comes in, Mrs. Burns. I wish I had to give it to you. Let me hold a 20. It's been a couple of weeks. Okay, so this is okay, so Afro Hunter 1185. I applied Tuesday 9 and haven't received anything. Sometimes it bees like that, man. You could apply one day. Like I said, I don't know if you guys listened to my one video where I was walking through the application, and at the end of the video, I was like, yeah, I applied for my husband business, and on Tuesday, and 24 hours later, he got the loan application or the loan portal. And I was like, what the hell? I was kind of upset because I wasn't upset. Of course, I was happy for him, but I was upset because my loan or my application been processing since May the 26th. And March the 26th. And I was really, really upset. Elizabeth Jones. She puts on here, is it possible that you can get denied of the advance due to credit? No, that's not right. No, they should still give you the advance. I applied on March the 29th and have not received the grant. This is from Clyde Gatewood. I applied on March 29th, have not received the grant, had a grant advance emailed. I'm sorry, you guys. My emailed all my stuff out and kept telling me my grandma is coming. I did that June the 16th. I'm not for sure what you're saying. I think that was a typo. Oh, your grand is coming June the 16th. Yeah. You know what? They, like I said, it's like Gone with the Wind with them. You don't know. You don't know. It usually takes 2 to 3 days. KT de Perez. How long does it take to go from application process to approve? It all depends on who gets your application and how difficult, they have to process, and who gets your application. Some people are, some of the loan people are faster than others, Lending, their standard is 21 days. That's been the normal. It's abnormal, like my husband, he got it in 24 hours. KT Da Press, he said he got it, his portal in 3 hours. I'm not for sure. Yeah, it's because of you, but then you would not get in. Okay. Let's go back to some of these questions from my last video. Shannon Solomon, she puts on here, do they accept prepaid cards or do they have to have a bank account? I'm not for sure about that, Shannon. I wouldn't trust a prepaid card, but if it's I wouldn't trust a prepaid card. Is a prepaid card linked to a bank account? I'm not for sure. But I would get a bank account, Vic Lee ain't getting nothing in more than a month. I had another question. If I am a LLC and I don't have any people that works for me, what button should I check when I apply? You are a LLC, so you would check the LLC button. It's whatever you are. You don't have to have employees to have an LLC, you know. So you're a LLC, check the LLC. If you're self-employed, press the self-employed button. So that's the first part of the EIDL application. They ask you what type of form of business you are, okay? Send me your questions, you guys. I know there's a lot of people on here. Send me your questions. Angel Sav, if I applied on Friday, speaking of last Friday when they took the portal down or the application down, do I potentially still have a chance? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you checked that button, consider me for the advance, you still have a chance to get the grants, okay? I wanted to get on to see how much funding do they have left with the SBA disaster loan, to give you guys a clue. Last week it was $240 billion left over in the EIDL loan. Okay, so it is still funding out there for you to apply for this loan. And if your business is struggling and you need a loan, the interest rate is so low in the terms. It's 30-year term. Your payments is going to be nothing. I got approved for I think it was $12,000 for my other business. It might have been 11,000. I think it's 11,000. My note is $59. You know, so I'm injecting some cash into my business with the $59 note. I mean, that's less than my cell phone bill. So if you need this funding, please apply. If you're scared about the credit, watch that video that I'm gonna drop next tomorrow morning, and walk it. They can't just deny you. They have to give you a fighting chance of reason for denial. If you having credit problems right now in their standard operating procedure, Chase, you need to, if you're going to sit down, but you can't be making a lot of noise. In their standard operating procedure, they have every credit type of scenario in there, and why these people cannot deny you. So please apply. Don't be afraid. Even if you got some credit problems right now, they can't deny you. It's written in there. They can't deny you because you have credit problems right now due to the disaster, okay? If you have credit problems prior to that, as long as it's explainable. Pull your credit report, people. They're going off of Experian, NAV.gov. Can I pay off my truck with the EIDL loan? I don't think you could just flat out pay off your truck. You could pay back payments. You could pay semi-truck. If this is if you had a note on it before, I think you should pay your back payments up and, you know, keep that existing. I'm not for sure because they have it written in their guidelines of what you could do with the loans. And one of them is talking about you can't just pay off, long-term debt. So I can't pay off my house or whatever. Car, is that long-term debt? I'm not for sure. I don't know if that would be considered long-term debt. So And I guess it all depends how with your semi truck, what is the note? What's the term of the loan for your semi truck? If it's a yeah, Ryan, I'm talking to you, Ryan Cruz. Yeah, it's a semi truck for your business, but if it's a they have a saying in their standard operating procedures, long-term debt cannot be paid off. They use some type of language in there about long-term debt. I would call the SBA and ask them. It's a lease to own. How long is the long term? How long is it? 5 years, 6 years? And how long do you have left on it? That's the real question. So they might not consider that long-term debt. But if you just using all your money to pay off your truck, I don't know. It's questionable. I'm not for sure. I can't answer that question. So SBA. Let's go to disaster. So yeah, if you guys are in there, want to apply for the loan, I really suggest you do that, because they have a lot of money left over, and they're giving all their friends with a lot of money they're giving Kanye West money. Like, why shouldn't you get money? So apply for it. And why shouldn't your business survive? Let's see. So lease to own could possibly be an operating expense like rent. Yeah, Jeff Norbert just answered your question. I'm not an accountant, so I know what I know, the minimum amount, to make sure I know how to calculate my net income. How much money am I making for real? That's what I need to know. Haven Angels. My friends got hers on her PayPal. So someone asked about can they use a prepaid credit card? Well, is PayPal considered a banking account though? I'm not for sure. Let's see. If we go down here to Freedom of Information Act, if you guys want, they have endless amounts of information regarding the PPP and the SBA EIDL program. And it's all in here in its database, and it's, you can access this information at any time. Something's wrong with their website, I think. Of course, something's wrong with SBA website. Who would have thunk? Let's see. If you guys have any more questions, KT, yeah, if they pulled your credit, yeah, they're in the process of approving your loan or denying it. More likely it's an approval. And also, if they pulled your credit, you should have received a grant. KT, did you receive a grant? Like to know that. No, you didn't. That sucks. Yeah, you applied on 7/12. Okay, so you applied after that grant thing. So I wonder why they're, running through applications really fast as far as loan approvals. But then you have people that applied in March, they're taking forever for them to process. It's really odd. It's no really rhyme to reason. Tatiana, they keep on withdrawing all of my apps. How many times did you apply, Tatiana? They will withdraw your apps if you apply 2 to 3 times, unless you apply 2 to 3 times with different businesses. If you apply for different businesses, they shouldn't have withdrawn your app. But I applied at least 3 times. Yeah, Tatiana, that's a little excessive. Did you get approved any of those times? Did you get a grant or anything like that? I would like to know that because, yeah, they should have. I mean, if they're processing one application, okay, they should be telling you, hey, we're withdrawing your application because it's a duplicate application, or why are the reasons why they're withdrawing your application. Yeah, I would suggest call your SBA, Chase. You need to, quiet down. Call your local SBA 1-800-659-2955. As of, they haven't put any loan reports back up here. So as of July the 3rd, they have $134 billion that they loaned out or lent out. You know they got a high approval or high denial rate with the SBA. Back in June, they were saying they had 5.4 million applicants, okay? Only 2.2 million applicants were approved. That's crazy. DJ Kess, he said he applied on July the 12th. Oh, Friday at 5 a.m. I applied Friday 5 a.m. and I still got the grant. Yeah, you were just before they cut everybody off. You should have. Jeff Norbit said quick approval is computer generated. Automatically paid out. The ones that hit your bank account in 2 to 3 days or sometimes less. Maybe that's one of those ones that they have low operating expenses or gross to net, maybe easy peasy, good credit maybe. Is that Giannis Tekel? Is that any chance they're going to accept new applications? Not for the grant, unless Congress funds some more. The EIDL loan application is still available. So if it was just 2 and they said they withdrew this one, will the other one be withdrawn? No, because the one they withdrawn was the first one. They should have withdrawn the last one. That's weird. That was from Scope Boy Lazo. Yeah, that's weird. They should have withdrew the last loan application. Can you get denied after the code? Yeah, they can. After hey, when you get the loan portal, it's like potentially approved or pre-approved type thing. And then depending on the size of the loan, they could potentially deny you, okay? DJ Kess, I applied on Friday and didn't get the grant. DJ Kess, if that box was available and you kept the check, you are still it's still hopeful that you can receive the grant. Clyde Gatewood, how long does it take for reconsideration? I'm not for sure. They have no rhyme to reason for reconsideration. Okay, Scope Lazo. Okay, so Scope Boy Lazo, you're talking about the PPP. Yeah, I'm not for sure, and that's with Wells Fargo. I'm not for sure why they would withdraw your first application. I'm not for sure. You need to call Wells Fargo about that. Can you get the grant if the loan was declined? Yes, you should have got the grant. If your loan was declined, just call them and say, hey, I got denied for the loan. Where's my grant at? If they're saying that you was denied for credit or whatever, you should still get the grant. If they denied you because unverified information, that's something different. Unverified information meaning they can't prove your business was legit or whatever. That's something else. You could apply for reconsideration for that at that point. Roberta is asking, are they only giving out grants if you accept the loan? Roberta, it looks like they're just willy-nilly in it. Like I said, I got the loan portal. My husband got the loan portal. We both didn't get the grant. But my other business, I got the grant and not the loan portal. I was denied the loan. So they're supposed to, it's written in a bill that they're supposed to give you the advance in 2 to 3 days. You know, it's written in the bill, but they haven't been following that. They're just doing whatever they want to do. Serena Williams. Greetings, I just watched your video and applied 5 minutes ago. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for watching. I'm glad that I can help. Heaven Angels. Yes, you have a bank link to it and you have an account number and routing number. Okay, I think she was responding to somebody else. Okay. Oh no, Elizabeth Jones, that's incorrect. If you don't get the grant by Friday, that's not what they're saying. It's not over. If you apply before that cutoff date and your application is in the system, you could still potentially get the grant. Okay. So if you guys are wondering, hey, am I going to get the grant? I applied before July, I think it was the 11th, that Friday. I applied Friday and that box was still there. Reason why they took it down because so many people applied and they estimated, okay, we have this much funding left and we have these many applicants. So they just allocated that dollar amount, okay? So you are potentially still qualified to get the grant. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a couple of more questions. If I got approved and received the 10K, will it be taken out my account? I'm not for sure what you're asking. Rodriguez. Tamara Rodriguez. Would it be sent to your account? Yeah. They wouldn't take it out your account. If you're talking about the loan payments, yeah, whatever loan. I applied on June the 28th. This is from Andre Thomas. I applied for June the 28th. Got approved for the loan, $56,000. It was in my account today. Okay, so that took about what, 15 days to do? Okay, sweet. Can I borrow $20? Somebody just asked me that. Yes. Okay. So let's see if we have any more questions.
Nope.
Okay, John.
No, you can't come in. Mommy's trying.
Somebody put on here, what if you get approved and you don't chase? Be quiet. Deprogram minds. What if you get approved but you don't have a business? Would it hurt in the end? Yeah, potentially. Depending on what you applied under, and if they do an audit, if you don't have a business or a self-employed and you don't have any way to show proof that you were self-employed, you potentially can. I need you guys to get out the room because you're being too loud. You could potentially get audit and fined or be ordered to pay those funds back like immediately. So you don't want to lie on your application. Just be truthful. Just say if you're self-employed, you're self-employed. You don't have to fluff up stuff. Okay? Let's see. Any more questions? Okay. RW8 Waters. Crazy. My grant just hit my account and I applied July the 6th. That's pretty awesome. Robinson Wealth Building. Hi, Chase. He is something else. Elizabeth Jones. Thank you, Chawanne. You give us hope. I hope that I give you hope. Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I am going to be signing off. It is about 9 o'clock here. Anything important, call SBA and send an email including the application number and record number. Sooner or later, SBA will made to honor the law. Yeah, Jeff Norbert said one way or another, SBA will be made to honor the law. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So thank you for tuning in. I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.